Thanks for supporting the channel financially, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Our goal is 3,000 likes and 300 comments. After a minute passed, the angel announced the results. Heavenly Demon was disappointed with the outcome, and he said to himself, "Ah, I was a fool to have hoped. After all, in terms of recognition, I cannot match Black Scythe." Contrary to his expectations, Black Scythe came in first with an overwhelming number of votes. He had thought there might be a chance for himself, but it turned out to be a vain hope. And although he had ranked second and third in previous areas, thus considering himself among the named ranks, the gap to the first place was bigger than he had anticipated, and the current voting results were proof of that. In fact, the recognition and popularity of Black Scythe among the players were almost quantifiable. Then he looked enviously at Black Scythe. Despite becoming the sole representative of South Korea, Black Scythe showed no particular change in expression, as if he had known this would happen. Seeing that, Heavenly Demon said to himself, "Hey, could it be? No, he's not a prophet. But why is he so calm? Was he just feigning indifference to hide his flustered feelings? Or maybe he really had predicted it. But Ryu wasn't guessing. He truly knew the future, hence his calm demeanor. As from the 21st to the 99th rounds, winning the vote 79 times. Then Ryu said to himself, "As expected, I'm first. The number of votes is a bit different, but the votes had increased from the previous round. Perhaps because he had formed connections with comrades like Ju Yong-ho, Minjuri, and Seo Arin, and without having to read their minds, he could guess that they had voted for him." Then Angel said, "Player Black Scythe has become the new area representative of C3ESKA001. And the Angel Ariel shouted, "According to the vote results, Black Scythe has become Korea's area representative. Congratulations, Black Scythe. By the way, the former representative's authority skills have been revoked. Now Black Scythe is the sole ruling player of Korea," the angel continued. "Now that the representative has been decided, shall we check the 9th round quest?" Then a message window appeared in everyone's eyes without fail. Round 9. Join a mercenary group and exterminate monsters. All areas. Participants, 1,295,362. Achievers, 0 out of 647,681. Specific area C3ESKA001. Participants, 6,008. Achievers, 0 out of 3,004. Seeing the quest, they inquired, "Exterminate monsters? What's a mercenary group?" However, the people around Black Scythe were calm. They already knew because of Ryu's prophecy. Then the angel said, "In a moment, you will be transported to a fantasy world to carry out an extermination mission as mercenaries. Don't panic. As you can see, it's a simple quest where you just have to exterminate monsters. You can choose the monsters to exterminate, so don't worry." No player was flustered by the mention of being dropped into a fantasy world, as they had already experienced the existence of NPCs while escorting the guilds in the 8th round. The angel asked, "Any questions?" One said, "Yes. Is it true that completing just one extermination means passing the quest?" The angel replied, "Of course, it's a very simple quest." The more she highlighted its simplicity, the more anxious the players became, and it had never been truly simple when said to be so. Then one inquired, "Is the extermination a party quest?" The angel replied, "You'll act together, but it's not a party. Each person must find and kill monsters on their own to claim their share, so you better work hard for the experience points." Another inquired, "Main quest is written here, so are there sub-quests too?" The angel smiled and said, "That's a secret. Of course there are. What kind of question is that?" And everyone scolded the questioner with the same thought. As if a main quest is listed, there are always sub-quests. It's a rule everyone knows from experience. Then one asked, "Angel, how are the rankings determined?" Before the angel could answer, a few shook their heads in disbelief, and they said to themselves, as if that damned angel would tell. The players' suspicions were confirmed when the angel said, "I'm not quite sure myself. The details will be revealed around the time the results are announced." Almost no one believed the angel's words. That's how much the players distrusted the existence of angels. But Ryu knew that the angel was telling the truth at the moment, and he said to himself, "Angels don't know everything about the quest. They only have limited information for each round. Whether it's to prevent information leakage to humans or not, angels have limited knowledge about the rounds. and this was confirmed through information obtained from torturing angels in previous regressions. Moreover, the reason Ryu was certain is different, as the final reward obtainable through this round's subquest. Just looking at the content, it's clear the angels don't know about the quest, Ryu added. The final reward hidden in this round was detrimental to the angels, and if the angels knew about the reward, it would cause an uproar. That's also why Ryu didn't prophesize about the subquest, and the reward, which only one person can claim, must be his alone. Then the angel said, "Let's stop the questions here and start the quest, shall we?" As soon as Ariel finished speaking, a selection window appeared before the players. Please touch the monster you wish to exterminate. 1. Lizard Man. 2. Werewolf. 3. Skeleton. 4. Troll. 5. Minotaur. If you do not choose, you will be automatically assigned randomly. Remaining time, 0,000,099. One player inquired, which one should I choose? This is obviously going to be 1. It looks the easiest, and the difficulty was apparent just from the names of the monsters. Ryu knew what the best choice was, but the other players were at a crossroads, and with just 1 minute to decide, there wasn't enough time for such deliberations, and most had made their selections and disappeared, but about a quarter hesitated, spending their time in indecision. Ryu had already informed his acquaintances of this fact through prophecy. Thus, Heavenly Demon and Ryu's acquaintances had no dilemmas. They had already thought it through in the real world. Co Arin said, "I'm going for number 2, Black Scythe Nim," and Sang Cheol said, "I'll also go with 2. Thanks for the buff, democracy." Co Arin and Ansang Cheol disappeared first, and before moving, they didn't forget to receive Min Juri's buff. They had learned from Ryu's prophecy that the buff would remain even after moving. Min Juri happily shared her buff with Black Scythe and others. Then Heavenly Demon said, "It was nice meeting you, Black Scythe Democracy. I'll be going ahead." After choosing, he disappeared next. He didn't say what he chose, but Ryu knew he had selected 3. Yamti said, "I'll go ahead too. Let's all meet alive." Once Yamti disappeared, only Ryu and Min Juri were left to make their choices. She said, "Where are you going, Mr. Black Scythe?" "Surely to number 5. And "I'm going for 1. "See you later, Black Scythe Nim." After Min Juri disappeared, Ryu was finally alone, and the reason he had delayed his choice was different. He needed to change his appearance, and he cast invisibility. Transforming into an assassin masked as Lostyak, he became unnoticeable to others. And just before the remaining 5 seconds, Ryu's finger moved. As he chose a monster, his figure completely vanished. In fact, in the fantasy world, there's one rule. Players' nicknames are not visible to each other, and players can only identify each other through faces or outfits, because nicknames are hidden. That's why Ryu changed his appearance to Lostyak, and he said, "This way, I can proceed with the subquest without Min Juri knowing." In fact, Ryu's choice, like Min Juri's, was number 1, and the reason for choosing the weakest, Lizard Man, was simple, as the subquest was only available there. And he added, "There are no subquests in other monster exterminations. I verified this by choosing different options throughout the rounds." Then Ryu checked the quest progress window. Lizardman Extermination Team Member Status. Participants. 602 fewer players chose number 1 than expected. Seeing it as the easiest, many avoided it, thinking it was a trap. Ryu said, "Pity. There's no better place to rank than here." The angel didn't mention how rankings were determined, but it was based on the number of monsters killed. In other words, rankings depended on how many monsters one could exterminate. So, exterminating weaker monsters is undoubtedly advantageous. However, killing 2 weak monsters could result in experience point losses. So, it's best to hunt monsters suitable for one's level. This way, one can gain a good amount of experience points and rank well. And this was all disclosed through prophecy. So his acquaintances chose 2 and 3 based on their levels. Min Juri's choice of 1 was also based on her combat capabilities. Then Ryu said, "With my current level, it would be natural to go for 5, the Minotaur, but the subquest is more important. It's essential for dealing with angels, so he couldn't miss it." Then one inquired, "Do you guys speak Korean? Since I can't see your nicknames, I'm not sure if you're players." Another said, "Since you're speaking Korean, you must be," he said. "But why can't we see nicknames again? Is it because they're hidden when we enter the fantasy world?" Another said, "Anyway, there are fewer people than I thought. Wasn't Lizardmen supposed to be the easiest? Maybe that's not the case? I'm getting anxious." While the players chattered, an NPC-like foreigner appeared.